Dazzle and Naga have really good synergy because if you can Naga sleep right after you do the Dazzle ulti on a whole team, they can lose a lot of armor because that
Right.
continues to tick.
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, I just got to do a quick intro here for the sake of the
Hmm.
VODs. Welcome back. This is another free-for-all Captain's Mode game for Engage, and I better not be having the same... Good. No mouse issues. Everybody's loading in. Dennis, the last to connect on his potato computer.
It's not a potato computer. I've upgraded to a cucumber computer.
Oh, cucumber now. At least it's not the tomato.
Yeah, well, the tomato I crushed, so
Yeah.
that's done.
That didn't last long. We have seen Lawler, we have seen N2K, we have seen Age of Podium, we've seen Pankersy, 4 out of 5 heroes.
We saw Heisenberg
players.
last week. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
we've seen them. We've seen a lot of these players. But what I'm saying is, in the last game,
Oh,
we've seen
yes.
4 out of 5 heroes on the Radiant team, so they will be playing Radiant again. Naga Siren, the same first ban as last time. Naga Siren. Lawler does not like that Naga Siren, so if you're ever playing up against Lawler and you have first ban, don't ban the Naga because he'll ban it for you.
Giving away all the anti-Loler strats here.
Yeah, and well, you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. The Bat Rider ban, obviously they didn't ban it out last game, and
And yeah, so I mean, they're not playing the same people, but maybe VLG saying like ban that friggin' bat because VLG was definitely on the dire.
Yeah, absolutely. And also a pretty standard ban, right? He makes it. I think the statistic was like 100% of the games during the international, Bat was either banned or picked. So
Yeah.
he's a pretty strong hero, or considered a very good initiator.
Right. No Outworld bans so far. Last time they...
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. There it is. But that leaves Darkseer. There it is.
Yeah. Dark
We are getting too good at this. The first 5 heroes.
I mean,
man,
there's
we are
only...
down.
it's not that difficult. It's like a freaking, like... You have, like, 10 heroes, maybe 10 heroes that you're going to ban or pick in the first, like, you know, 8 bans, 8 stages, I guess. 8, 4 bans and 4 picks, I guess. So Nyx Assassin and Keeper. Keeper, actually, I was talking about last game how Keeper kind of doesn't get banned and picked as often these days. And
he should be. He is so badass as a support. He
Yeah,
farmed the jungle. He's got blinding light for team fights. Those illuminates. If you get a good illuminate on like 4 heroes in a fight, you've won the fight for your team.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've definitely taken a good chunk out of the enemy team. But
Right, exactly.
one of the main reasons is just because of the utility that he has. If you can go like a Mana Leak build if you want to gank really hard. If you want to just harass somebody out of the lane, the Mana Leak build is great. The Chakra Magic is obviously one of the greatest mana spells in the game. Is the greatest mana spell in the game, and then you can pretty much buy an Aegis by popping his ulti and summoning someone back in after they buy back. So, just the utility alone. And in the last game, the blinding lights were just changing team fights entirely. So, just Keeper, a great pick overall. I feel like he's still one of the best supports that you can pick up. I remember seeing an interview where somebody was saying that like Keeper is just the best support right now. That was before the nerf that he got, and it wasn't even that substantial of a nerf. It
Like, the
increased.
nerf was pointless. It literally changed nothing. I
Well,
think.
it did change the scaling of the mana cost, right, of the Chakra Magic, as well as the distance of the Illuminate. So that it did nerf it very slightly, yes, but like it wasn't a big difference. Like it's not like as a keeper the only reason you're good is because you have Illuminates. No, it's because you have like a bunch of great spells.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And Alchemist picked up. Pretty cool. I like Alchemist. Alchemist is a lot of fun, man. You can farm an Alchemist so much faster than you can farm a lot of other heroes. Like, and you know what? Not that he farms faster per se. I think he just kicks in a lot earlier with the items you tend to build on him, and he scales very well. You don't have to build real HP items for a very long time because he tends to get very tanky very quickly. Do you think this is a Nyx Assassin support or a Nyx Assassin mid?
He's generally run as a support nowadays. There's like I rarely see a Nyx Assassin mid anymore, just because, like, I mean, yeah, getting up level 6 is good on a Nyx, but, like, you pop the Vendetta, you go gank someone, and then it's, you know, you can get maybe a few ganks off before they start dropping sentry wards, and, you know, giving the levels to the Nyx Assassin all of a sudden wasn't as valuable, just because he's like, he'll pick off a support solo, but that doesn't give anything to your carry. I mean, it's nice to send the Nyx mid, but I feel like he's got so much more utility as a support.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. And go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, if he doesn't have to worry about farm, then he can use his Vendetta for just like scouting and looking for really nice pickoffs. So, and you know, generally he probably won't win the mid lane very hard, especially up against some of the mid heroes that are coming out these days, like
Timbersaw.
Timbersaw, did he go mid last game?
I don't
think so. No, I'm pretty sure he went off lane.
Okay, so maybe an off-lane Timbersaw this game. I like Timbersaw in the off-lane more than I like him in mid. I mean, like, obviously he's good in mid against, like, Dragonite and, like, those really tanky heroes.
He's only picked up situationally in mid. Like, if the enemy has a lot of armor. So
yeah, absolutely.
Dragonite, basically. if a Dragonite is picked, you pick a Timbersaw or something like that.
The Bane is picked up, actually.
But even so, like, another hero that deserves mid a little bit more could probably serve better in the mid role. So Timbersaw, like, not a hero that you generally, I mean, Timbersaw's the kind of hero that you send mid in a pub when there's like no mid hero.
Right, absolutely. And he doesn't have great rune control either, and it's not like he can come around for a gank very often. Like, he can move around the map quickly, but what makes him good for the offlane is that, you know, reactive armor makes him tanky, and Timber Chain allows him to get away from ganks very quickly. So it gives him a lot of survivability, which is a lot more valuable, I think, in an offlane than it is in the mid lane. You know, you want your mid laner to really be making plays, controlling runes.
Ganking.
Exactly, yeah, just causing some chaos on the map.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason that Timbersaw, I feel like the reason Timbersaw is really useful is because he can find some farm, he can do some damage to whoever he's up against in the lane, and then he can quickly get out of there with the Timber Chain. Like, Timber Chain is one of the best escape spells, I think, in the entire game, because, you know, you can just pop it like every few seconds. It's got a 4-second cooldown. 4-second cooldown. So you can just, like, piece anywhere, basically, at any time. And there are, you know, those videos online of Timbersaws, like, living for, like, a 5-minute chase or something. It's ridiculous. Dragonite getting picked up, so
either a farming Dragonite or a Dragonite mid. I actually wouldn't mind a farming Dragonite with the Coddle there, because with a lot of mana, he's a pretty scary hero to stand up against.
Yeah, the Dragon Tail is intense. 9-second cooldown, stun duration 2.5 seconds at level 1, and mana isn't really an issue for him with a Coddle in the lane, so.
Right, absolutely, but he's got to get into melee range to do it, and I think the Nyx Assassin can kind of provide that space, right? So something like a Nyx stun, and then he runs up and Dragon Tails, and now you've got hero stun for like 4 or 5 seconds. That's enough time for an Illuminate, that's enough time for some right clicks, for a Flame Breath. So, you know, they'll be able to punish whoever I guess the Darkseer, if they choose to take the Darkseer as the offlaner.
Right. So Jakiro getting picked up for that tri-lane with the Alchemist.
And the Bane, a pretty strong tri-lane too.
Yeah.
Very strong tri-lane.
Yeah, got a lot of control. So.
Jakiro also works well with the Darkseer, is I think another reason they picked them up.
Right. That Ice Path Vac, a deadly combo. And a nice setup for an Alchemist stun as well, so. Deadly combos coming out of the Radiant side here, and just kind of an endless fight combo coming out of the Dire's side. They have the longevity on the Dire, and on the Radiant they have that quick burst, explosion, death.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a lot of... I guess they'll be wanting to look for pickoffs, which isn't that bad. But if they do get into a team fight, if they have great execution, they can do so much. Like a vacuum wall into an Ice Path, into an Alchemist stun, And then if this Alchemist decides to go for something like a Battle Fury, we could just see an immediate team wipe. But on the other hand, Dragon Knight does tend to build a BKB. Timbersaw, I haven't seen, I don't think Timbersaw's with BKBs, just because of how survivable he is. And Nyx Assassin and Coddle tend not to get enough far. But Viper as their mid laner?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I guess. As their mid laner.
But that's an interesting pickup when they haven't even picked up their mid.
Yeah, that's not. But Viper does tend to kind of do well against a lot of mid heroes, just because of how corrosive armor works.
But he is very vulnerable to ganks.
He doesn't have much of an escape at all.
This lineup can set up some mean ganks, like Nightmare into Ice Path, into even just a Brain Sap is like almost death. Almost. And then there's just right clicks from whoever the mid hero is coming out of the Radiant.
Yeah, we'll have to see who they pick up. I don't know what heroes do particularly well against the Viper in mid. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what their choice is. Nothing comes to mind immediately.
Well, if you have some heavy burst and lockdown, that's really good against a Viper. He's good.
But who has burst and lockdown in the mid lane?
Well, you get the Queen of Pain, and then you have the Bane come gank, or
okay, with the rotation.
I mean, you just need some high damage to really kind of harass him out of lane, because he's gonna harass the tits out of you.
Shadow Fiend. I like this pickup a lot, actually.
High damage.
Yeah. I like this pickup a lot, actually. And Lolor's going to be playing it, and we've seen some performances on the Shadow Fiend out of him.
Well, yeah, just last game.
He played the Shadow Fiend last game?
No, Bat Rider.
Oh, he played Bat Rider. Yeah, we've seen him play Shadow Fiend before as well. I just want to say that, Queen of Pain, the reason I tend to disagree with it, I think, is because she tends to use Shadow Strike for harass. Is it Shadow Strike? The one that does damage over time. I forget what it's called now. It might be something else.
Just go with her dagger.
The damage over time. The dagger, right. She tends to use the dagger for harass, and Corrosive Skin tends to punish that on the Viper. That's why he's such a strong mid laner. But let's introduce the teams here. On the Radiant side, we will have Lolar going mid with the Shadow Fiend. We will have the Farming Alchemist, played by N2K, supported by Heisenberg on the Bane, and Pancracy on the Jakiro. And finally, our offlaner is Aegopodium.
Aegopodium. That's what
Aegopodium.
Aegopodium. On the Dire side, we have New Karn. On the Timbersaw going into the off lane, Zeitgenis. Actually, it might be off lane Viper. It will be, in fact. It will be. So they're gonna send. No, they're gonna send the. Oh wait, what?
Yeah, I think it's a tri-lane with an easy lane.
Dragon Knight. No, Dragon Knight is mid.
No, Dragon Knight is mid. Easy. No, they're running dual lanes.
Well, the Timbersaw is gonna go safe lane solo.
Arrows.
They're not running dual lanes. The Timbersaw is going safe lane solo. The Keeper is going into the tri-lane with the Viper, which is interesting. This is totally unpredictable by the Dire team. I guess it's cool. I mean, Viper.
I don't like this idea.
Viper is a hero that benefits from levels a lot, especially in the early game. So if you're splitting off his experience with an aggressive tri-lane, then yikes. But I don't mind the slow in the aggressive tri-lane mixed with the stuns and the Coddle Blast.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me finish introducing this team. Sorry, I never did that. New Karn on the Timbersaw, Zeitgenis on that Viper. We have VLG on the Nyx Assassin. He did play the Coddle last round, I believe. And Wanking on the Dragon Knight going mid up against that Shadow Fiend. And then finally Hondo on the Keeper of the Light. So some heavy warding coming up from the Dire immediately. Ooh, haste rune up on the Jakiro here. They saw it.
We've got an immediate pause. How unfortunate. But already we're going to see the Coddle Blasts are going to be a thing to deal with. Nyx Assassin has leveled his stun, and Viper.
Sorry, I need to turn off the stream. Laggy. Zeitgenis watching the stream. All good. It is on a 2-minute delay, so, they aren't stream cheating. Hopefully.
Yeah, plus the game is on a delay itself, isn't it? Pretty sure.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Every game is, yeah. So the blast actually not landing on anyone there. In the top lane,
Yeah.
Timbersaw having a great old time here up against Darkseer. Darkseer, a tanky hero in the early game, but up against a pure damage hero like Timbersaw, he's going to have a bit of a tough time. Lawler going to do quite well for himself here in the middle lane.
Yeah, this Shadow Fiend, I think, is really the weak point in how they've decided to lane their draft. Just because this Shadow Fiend is going to be able to get out of control pretty quickly, right?
So
if you look at last...
The way you worded that was confusing, so it's...
Okay, so the way the Dire lane this is going to give the Shadow Fiend near free reign. And, you know, the Dragon Knight is going to be in some trouble come level 3 and 4, and especially when we get to level 6. So, and having a Shadow Fiend that's been farming very well, especially played by, you know, a pretty good Shadow Fiend player, is not going to be at all a good thing for them to deal with. This aggressive tri-lane, I feel like, needs to get a lot done in order to make this worth it. And this is one of the things I mentioned last time we cast an aggressive tri-lane, right? Was you want to run an aggressive tri-lane when you want to punish something especially greedy.
Nice block.
Yeah, very well done there by the Coddle, actually, moving into block. Is this the same Coddle player? No, it's not. This is not the same Coddle player we saw last time. Okay, well...
I like the body block there because it almost, like, makes the Bane buy a sentry ward just to check if there's a sentry. Because now they've single pulled, and they're just going to give a lot of experience and farm to the other team. But, I like the body block method. Like, if you can sneak into the jungle every minute and then body block, they'll be, like, popping sentry wards, like, the whole game. Like...
Yeah, exactly. Just worried about trying to get rid of it.
There we go.
It's a definitely
up on the Nyx Assassin. The stun coming out from the Alchemist, but the Spike Carapace just in time. The Impale lands on 2, and the Coddle Blast turning it around. Now the Jakiro falling very low. N2K on the run as well. Heisenberg just chilling. I'm at full health, guys. I'm fine.
Yeah, very well done by them. Yeah, and that's one of the things, right, is they're, like, but they can't be this defensive. They have to go aggressive eventually, and I think once we hit level 3, we're going to see a lot more aggression come out of them. Viper should have another point in poison attack by then. Coddle should have another point in chakra, and the Nyx Assassin will have another point in the stun, extending the duration by a full half second, so they'll be able to run it a little more aggressively. I do want to say they want to get a lot done in this tri-lane, because... you know, shutting down the Alchemist is very important, and, you know, not letting him just free farm is also very important. But if they can get themselves some kills, if they can net some kind of advantage, that would be really good, because I don't see the Timbersaw, like, completely crushing this,
Top lane, the Darkseer trying to man mode up against this Timbersaw, but the Timber Chain too much. Now Alchemist TPing in, the stun is charging up. Here we go, New Karn in a bit of trouble. The Acid Spray down, and a few right clicks will do it. The Timber Chain not fast enough. First blood for the Alchemist. N2K having a good start here. He doesn't find much farm in that tri-lane bottom, so he switches top. And I guess this aggressive tri-lane is, you know, mission accomplished for now at least, because they have shut down the Lifestealer pretty well. But he did get a first blood, so.
Yeah, absolutely. But if the Dire are going to pick up any kind of advantage, it's going to be from this aggressive tri-lane. I mean, mid we see...
It could also, you know, be at a disadvantage because of the tri-lane, because now there's only 2 heroes in the bottom lane up against 3 heroes. So, unless the Alchemist... Yeah, the Alchemist is just going home. Can't really fight up against the Darkseer. So...
Yeah, well, I mean, likely he'll go back, but if the Dire don't get a lot done in this tri-lane, then, you know, their only hero that's really kept up on farm is going to be the Timbersaw, and he just gave away first blood, so definitely not the start you want, where kind of he's your only reliable hope.
Well, I mean, they do have the Dragon Knight, but the Dragon Knight...
well, the Dragon Knight's going to get levels, and that's not bad. Actually, he's going in on Lolar here.
Oh,
he's trying to go in for the stun, but taking some tower damage. Lolar's going to turn around, try to make something of this, I guess.
No,
yeah, the Dragon Knight hit a faster level 6 because Lolar has been rotating to get those runes. He did get a double damage one, so that definitely let him pull ahead on CS.
Yep.
The Dire supports farming the enemy jungle. This is very well done. This is something we don't see.
New Karn in a lot of trouble here. Alchemist is present and accounted for, and New Karn, one right click will bring him down. The Ion Shell doing work. Egapodium real happy about this rotation from the Alchemist, and now the aggressive tri-lane is not looking as valuable as it was before. for the Dire. Because now they're just splitting experience when the supports are just getting all the experience they need. Really, I mean, this Bane is only level 2, which is surprising. Level 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're staying pretty far back because they could very quickly die if they move too far in. I think neither of them have boots even yet, so yeah, they're both going to have really low move speed.
This Alchemist is rushing Midas.
That's a pretty smart idea. I mean, you pick up 2 kills, that's 800 gold. So,
Right.
I mean, and he's gonna want to kick in.
800 exactly, really. I mean, the second kill.
Right.
Oh, here we go. The pure damage from the Timber Saw is a lot, and so he'll salve up here and disengage, stun him up, run away. But
And
yeah,
importantly, the
anyway.
Alchemist already has level 6, whereas the Viper is still sitting at level 4.
Exactly, they're
Yeah,
all splitting
right, so he's
levels.
gone to that lane. Yeah, exactly. He's gone to that lane. He's gotten his levels, and the 2 kills helped him level pretty quickly early on because the Timbersaw was out leveling him at that point. So that's really, really good for them. I mean, the Radiant are really executing here, but the Dire, you know, they're continuing to block these camps. They're continuing what looked like for a second like Kato was stacking, but it looks like he's just blasting down the wave over and over again, trying to get some extra gold. But
has his ulti up, he pops it, he stuns up Lawler here. He has a haste rune, so Lawler's in a lot of trouble. The raise is not enough, not in time. And so Dragon Knight picks up an easy kill in the middle lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Bane going hard here. The Nightmare is up on someone, but Bane falling very low. Hiding under his tower. Heisenberg in a lot of trouble. Zeit Gennis now under the tower, frozen by the ice path. Nyx pulls the lane and just gives the enemy some free vision of his half-health corpse, soon to be. VLG on the run here. Trying to catch him with the ice path, finds him. But is there follow-up? There is no follow-up. Pancracy saying, where you at, Bane? Bane's like, I ain't got no mana, man. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Darkseer picks up a kill on the Timbersaw, but Dragon Knight makes the rotation in, and Timbersaw ends up with a double kill, actually, under the tower. The downsides of diving.
Nyx Assassin actually gets an Invis rune. That's going to be really good. They're going to want to make a rotation against these supports because with the Alchemist not here, they're pretty weak. And, you know, one of the things I recently read actually about tri-lanes and about towers in relation to tri-lanes is, you know, you're there to protect the towers aren't there to protect you. And that's one of the things that I think the Dire can really abuse here. You know, because if you cast spells underneath the tower without auto
in a
attacking.
little bit of trouble here. The Impale is up. He ice paths out on the Coddle, but here's a Viper, and that means death for you. When you're, oh, here's the rotation by Lawler, actually. He picks up the kill on Coddle here, and now, whoa, the huge damage coming out from Lawler. Double kill for him, and now Zeit Gennis on the run, and this is the downside of having an aggressive tri-lane where your supports aren't getting farmed, and your Viper isn't getting farmed. The Shakram coming out here from Nukarn, and the stun getting charged up. The ice path is there. Stun is out, but the pure damage might be enough if he can pop it. Nope. Pure damage might have picked up the kill on N2K, but he didn't have enough time there. He was locked down for far too long.
Overall, I'd have to say it's been a pretty even game so far. I mean, the Alchemist getting those kills is definitely not what they want, and now that he's got farm in this lane, he's actually got his Midas on the way, I believe. Yeah, he's got his Midas done. It's at 9.5 minutes.
Not too bad.
No, it's not too bad at all, but I hope that the Dire notice this and punish it, because the Dire lineup is going to kick in relatively early with the Nyx Assassin hitting 6, the Viper hitting 6 soon, and the Timbersaw already level 8. So they can potentially punish this because the Alchemist hasn't decided to go for a more damage-oriented item. Of course, if they do continue to let him farm and if they continue to give him space, I guess if his team makes space for him and keeps the enemy occupied enough, then that Alchemist will come out and just be very strong, especially alongside the attack damage reduction of Shadow Fiend's ulti. Shadow Fiend, by the way, is now level 9. He's the top CSer on the board by almost 20 CS.
So Nyx Assassin makes the rotation in here. And maybe too little too late. The Impale not able to get cast in time. The stun getting charged up, however, does get cast on Timbersaw here. And here we go. The Impale is out on the Alchemist, and the Timber Chain not enough. The Ice Path catches 2. It's double kill for that Ion Shell. Ion Shell doing work. Keeper decides nope. Not going in there. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Dragon Knight putting some decent pressure here on the tower. The stun is out here in the middle lane, and now Dragon Knight might find a kill here on Heisenberg unless he gets nightmared up. The tower does fall. In the meantime, and now Caudle. No, Caudle's not on the run. He's just kind of hanging around, panicking a little bit.
Yeah, and the Radiant take their own tower and top in exchange, which is really, really good. I do want to say that rotation out of the Alchemist has made a huge difference this game. He saw that his farm was getting slowed down. He saw that there was pretty big kill potential coming out of them, and going greedy with a Midas wasn't really an option against an aggressive Trilane, or if it was, it would be easily punished. But making that rotation, getting those 2 kills when Timber saw, was, or appeared to be unaware that the Alchemist was there when he first got there, has just worked out really well for them. I mean, the Darkseer's already level 9, the Alchemist's already level 9, and there's another stun being charged in the top lane.
Top lane, stun, tossed out, New Karn in trouble again. Timber Chain, not fast enough. He is locked down for far too long. I would like to point out that the Dragon Knight has been level 11 for a long time. When everyone was like still level 9, he was already level 11. So,
yeah, definitely getting his levels there in the mid lane.
He's building a Shadow Blade too.
Yeah, so they're going to have some good initiation, but they're losing towers at a very fast rate, and that's not something they can afford to do, especially for their jungle.
Lawler here can take this Caudle down in a second. Melts like butter, and so he will. The raise lands, and oh my god! That was mixed with the brain sap, so it wasn't all Lawler, but really. And now Wanking TP's into the wrong part of town. The raise is preparing for a TP in, but it gets canceled, and now Nyx Assassin coming in, going to try and defend this tier 2 as best he can. I don't think they can really do much. 2 heroes down, including your Dragon Knight. Keeper did just get back up, so they will be able to deal with a little bit of this. And
yeah, I mean,
here we go. Lawler gets initiated upon. The Impale is up. The Shakram is out, and now Lawler's too fast. The phase boots are there. Oh my god, Nyx Assassin dying quick, New Karn dying quick, everybody melting like butter. Lawler does get picked off by the Viper, so that's really nice for Zygenis. But now Zygenis probably going to have to give his life away. There's no juke sly enough to get away from 4 heroes like that. The stun is out on the Caudle. Here we go, the right clicks are there, killing spree up on the Alchemist. 3 heroes down for the Dire team, and now it looks like a tier 2 will fall.
Yeah, and they've just been very efficient.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Nyx is coming in.
Please don't. They're going to reinitiate here. Oh, and 2K TPing out. They might be able to turn this around. The stun is up on the Surge Darkseer, so he won't have it when he comes back out. At least right now he won't. But they won't decide to chase. He surges again. And he's outie. He's outie like TT.
Yeah, and there's a regen rune in bottom. Dragon Knight's going to be able to get that. And they could turn that into another tower push. I mean, so far, actually, the Dire are ahead as far as towers goes. The Radiant have only taken 1. If they had gotten that second tier 2, I think they would have been ahead just because of how high priority those towers tend to be. You know, protecting the jungle and keeping heroes safe, allowing you to TP in to farm. But they didn't decide to go for it. The Alchemist did TP back, knowing that there was a lot of people coming in. And that's one of the things about the early game, right? About the kills in the early game is, although they're important, your respawn time is pretty low, so you can always get back to defend something, even if the situation looks really bad.
One thing that worries me here for the Dire team is that where is their late game? They don't really have it. Other than in the Dragon Knight, they don't have much late game, and I would say that the Radiant have a lot of late game potential. Darkseer scales well, Alchemist obviously scales well, Shadow Fiend not too bad into the late game, right? His damage is consistent if he snowballs enough, and you know,
Bane's Fiend's Grip stays very relevant, as does Jakiro's Ice Path and Macro Pyre.
Right.
Especially against heroes that don't tend to usually build BKBs, except for the Dragon Knight.
Smoke, gonna try and find an Alchemist, and so they will.
This is a very good rotation.
Okay, in a hairy position. Great
Alchemist
gank here. Now it begins. The Shakram is out. The stun gets charged, but it's not enough. And now N2K will fall. Big rotation from the Dire team, but will they give up a tower for it? I don't know.
Yeah, that cost them about 400 gold.
They have the backstab, so they could come in here and look to initiate, but there are a lot of heroes. Meanwhile,
yeah, and at level 11, this Darkseer already has his wall, so...
Top lane, Dragon Knight pushing in. Nyx Assassin vendetted up. Not going to be able to find it yet. They do walk under this ward, so now they're aware that Roche is definitely warded. Dragon Knight going to back off here. Oh no! He stuns himself up. Luckily he didn't, that didn't get cast before he TP'd in. That would have been he would have had to cast that quick. Actually, ulti from the Shadow Fiend here, and they're gonna pick up a kill here, easy on Zygenis. And now the right clicks are huge from Lawler, huge. The Raze picks it up, double kill, and now the Coddle on the run. Lawler actually very low. The mech just in time, triple kill for Lawler, and will he make it an ultra kill? One more right click, nope. It's picked up by someone else, but Lawler just snowballing out of control here. 93 last hits at 16 minutes, not too bad, not too shabby, and 7 kills, 2 deaths. Definitely in a good spot here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right when you say that the Dire don't have a particularly strong late game, especially when compared to the Radiant team. And I think that their heroes tend to be the type of heroes that if they get ahead, they'll stay ahead, right? The Timbersaw will stay ahead, so will the Viper and the Nyx Assassin, even the Dragon Knight. But if they fall behind, their heroes don't really have very strong comeback mechanisms. I mean, the Alchemist can farm his way back into the game. The Shadow Fiend can go for kind of a glass cannon build. And the Radiant have decided to go do Roche here, and the Dire suspect that they're picking it out because they don't see anyone on the map. They do have pretty good warding up, but they might just be too late by the time this Roche is down.
Yep, there it is. The Alchemist picks up the Aegis of the Immortal, and Timbersaw is now in a very bad spot. The stun comes out from the Alchemist, but he's sitting in a macro pyre, so this could get hairy for him. The Aegis is immediately popped, and Jakiro throwing out an ice path. Dragon Knight trying to man mode in the middle of this, picking off supports left and right. Now Viper slowing down the Alchemist, keeping him out of the fight. Nightmare up on the Dragon Knight, gets pulled off by Zygenis, and the stun is out from the Alchemist. Lawler in the background picks up a kill on Zygenis. Double kill for Lawler. And now, Dragon Knight in a hairy position here. Stun being charged by the Alchemist. Will he find it? No, Shadow Blade is up, so the Alchemist will stun himself out. Dragon Knight sees it. He's looking for the kill here on Shadow Fiend. I don't know if he actually saw the Alchemist stun himself out. Here we go, the stun from Wanking. And now Lawler falling very low. Whoa!
Wow, just getting away with 3 HP. 3 HP. That Flame Breath, a quick reaction, and now he's going to get stunned by the Alchemist, but the Alchemist will retreat.
Oh my god, 3 health. That sucks. He couldn't have guessed better.
That was a very good fight for the Dire. Overall, I mean, they didn't lose their real core. They did lose their supports, and I didn't see if actually Timbersaw died, but it looks like he did. But overall, I think, you know, not letting Alchemist get away with having that Aegis.
Charges up his ulti and Wanking caught some of it. Oh, Alchemist stuns himself out. Lawler trying to pursue.
This Alchemist is just so good at stuns. We've seen him stun himself like 3 times in a minute.
Hey, you should have seen N2K last game, man. N2K on that clockwork, it was insane, the claws that he was landing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was great. He had the Aghanims up and he was just clawing left and right. And now Dragon Knight in a bad spot. He tries to Flame Breath just to... Oh man, no one has detection yet. There you have it, folks. Shadow Blade, best insurance policy. When the enemy team does not have any detection whatsoever. Let's see. A sentry ward here. Yeah, no detection. They do have a sentry, but pretty much everyone should have some detection when the Dragon Knight has a Shadow Blade. Shadow Blade is friggin' annoying because it forces you to spend so much money. It almost pays for itself by forcing the enemy to buy detection the entire game. And actually, Darkseer picks up a kill in the bottom lane on Zygenis. Viper having a tough time here. He needs those early kills, and instead he's getting killed early. The Ice Path out on VLG. Nyx Assassin in a bad spot. The Spike Carapace is up, so it stuns everyone out, at least for a second, but won't last for long. Now Dragon Knight in the fray, stuns up that Jakiro and picks up the kill. Now Bane on the run, Nightmare up. Meanwhile, Keeper running for dear life from this Ion Shell Darkseer, and Timbersaw DD, but he is in between two heroes here. Shadow Fiend, you got him, my man. You got him. Keep that vision. Oh no, he's gonna stun himself out, but he's trapped up here anyway, so he is so trapped. Oh, he Timber Chains back, and now they're on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, very well done by the Timbersaw, baiting the gank. I mean, if we look at net worth, the Shadow Fiend, the Alchemist, and the Darkseer are far ahead, which is kind of indicative of the early game, I guess. But the Dragon Knight has kept pace. The Viper is pretty far behind, but also not doing terribly. I mean, the Radiant have accrued a 10,000 gold lead at this point, so.
Dragon Knight in the bottom lane here. He's going to stun out. Oh no, the Dragon form wears off, but he stuns out the Bane anyway, and the right clicks are still pretty big here. The Nightmare comes out, and I don't think he's going to be able to catch up. Oh, unless Timbersaw, hero. We're following this guy. The Timber Chain is going to be huge. Shabam! Oh, the pure damage doesn't land. The Shakram is out. The Shakram will be enough alongside the Timber Chain. Meanwhile, top lane, Lawler, BKB's up. Finds Zeitgenis under his own tower. He's not very quick right now. So Zeitgenis will actually make it away with very little health. Now Lawler in the middle of a few heroes. Ice Path comes out to try and protect him, at least for now. The sentry is down for that Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend is long gone, buddy. Pancracy now being chased by a Nyx Assassin and a Keeper of the Light. Pancracy pretty tanky, so he could technically make it out of here, really. Lawler there for some backup, and he probably will make it out, but Green has no idea. Oh, two Invis heroes. Clash of the Titans. Here we go. Let's do this, Lawler. The right clicks. Wow, tanky, my man. You done picking up strength and stuff. Ooh, girl, Agapodium. That back, that stun from the Alchemist. The blinding light, not enough. People are missing left and right, but not really. Because they pick up the kill now. N2K charging up another stun. Trying to find the kill here on the Keeper of the Light, but in the background here, Nyx Assassin coming in with that Impale. Not fast enough. The Shakram coming out, but huge damage from the Radiant team here. N2K. Oh, the back. The Timber Chain not soon enough. A good effort. I like how Timbersaw falls into a bunch of pieces when he does.
Yeah, he just falls apart. Poor guy. Poor Timbersaw, man. He's just trying to get away from things.
Let's take a look at the gold graph here. 12,000.
Yeah, they are in some trouble right now.
In favor of the Radiant. My God.
They are really in some trouble, man.
Zeitgenis still trying to just build a friggin' Shadow Blade. Wants to join the Shadow Blade party. The exclusive club, but can't find the farm. That's what sucks about a Viper, is that if you don't have a good early game, you're almost boned.
Yeah, you need to have... You know what he reminds me of as a hero is really like Night Stalker, you know? Like Night Stalker's first night, that 6-minute rotation, is really decisive in how much he'll be able to contribute. I think same with Viper.
Oh. Well, I don't know if he saw... No, he knew that his invis was running out, so he went to the higher ground. Smart, DK. Smart. Lawler, Shadow Blade's up, starts casting his ulti, but cancels it. And starts casting again. The Impale is up. Oh my God, and now Lawler falls. They did have the sentry up. Nice sentry ward placement. Like, just randomly. I guess they saw that he Shadow Bladed when he came up the stairs. No, yeah, so it wasn't random at all. They had the ward down and they saw that he Shadow Bladed, and then he was pretty much screwed. Ooh.
Yeah, that was a bit too aggressive
Heisenberg.
Coming out of Lawler, I think. Oh,
Heisenberg.
on the pursuit here,
Right.
trying to find the mix.
He sees him. The Fiend's Grip. Oh, he's just going to pick up the kill with just the Fiend's Grip. Nicely done by Heisenberg. Oh, stun coming out from the Alchemist here. The Acid Spray is down. Whoa, the damage from the stun. Jeez Louise, he has like no stats. Anyway, Zeitgenis in the fray now. N2K taking huge damage from the pure damage and the bright clicks from the Viper here. Now Wayne King in the center of it all. Pancracy, he's just sitting in the Macropyre. He does not care at all. Not even a little bit. Pancracy on the run here from the Dragon Knight, and Dragon Knight's just gonna right-click down Heisenberg now. I don't know. I think they could take him down with a couple of, brain sap. There you go. They got some pure damage on the way here from the Timber Saw. The Shakram coming out. Heisenberg in the river, in the wrong part of town. Double kill for Zeitgenis. And Lawler actually looking to reinitiate here. I don't know if he has enough damage now. So, what do you think about these exchanges that are going down? It feels like really back and forth here. I mean, that was one of the first good exchanges the Dire really took, though.
Yeah, that was, but that's something that Dire want to keep looking for, right? They want to keep looking for these small skirmishes because in major team fights, they're being out-leveled and out-farmed right now, and they're not going to be able to do it. So they want to secure an advantage by either having the jump on the enemy or isolating someone just overextended. So, from the Radiant side, they're going to obviously want to avoid overextending. They're going to want to stick together a little bit and kind of pressure with the advantage that they already have. With the Dire, really, I want to see them spread out. I want to see... I guess the warding is actually really good right now, but even more wards on the enemy side, just trying to pick someone off farming the jungle, trying to pick someone off farming the ancients. And little by little, I do see them being able to make it back into this game. However, their timing window is really closing. If this game goes past 40 minutes, I don't think they have much of an opportunity to really say. I'm checking the Roche bit, about a minute left, right?
Lawler. Go over here. This way. Look for them. Find them. And here we go. Smoked and Vendetta Nyx. Hardcore gank. Here we go. VLG. Looking for it. Looking for it. Shadowblade is up. The Ion Shell. Looking for... Oh, do they know? Like, they have no idea that this Nyx is just hovering below them. And Shadowbladed DK. Nope. No initiation. Just a bunch of invisibility.
Yeah, they really can't take fights when they don't know where everyone on the map is. That's the thing, right? If they can get a fight, oh man, the Darkseer's picked up a Hex. That's gonna be pretty huge.
The Impale, the Invis Rune gets picked up by the Nyx Assassin. And before he fades, he actually casts the Mana Burn, but then pops it with the Spike Carapace. Oh, the ulti from Lawler, and here we go. The Macro Pyre is out, so is the wall, and now they're on the chase. The Dire definitely on the run here. The Shadowblade finally up on that Viper, so he is able to make it away at least for now. Hondo now. Whoa, the right-click damage. My God, double kill for Lawler. Lawler is just snowballed out of control here. He's got 160 last hits, constantly at max souls. His right clicks are doing like over 200 damage. And he's scary. He's a scary guy. Oh, the Force Staff into Fiend's Grip. Zeitgenis now being taken down quite easily. So handily by the enemy team. And now N2K man-moding under the tower. Double kill for N2K. Nicely done. This Alchemist having a great old time here. He's got a BKB, Assault Cuirass, Lawler all over that BKB. He's got the Yasha and everything. He's loving life here. Uh-oh, here we go. VLG gets an Impale on 2. Dual Breath coming out from the Hero, and this just looks like a haphazard initiation here. The right clicks, massive still from Lawler here, so you just really can't initiate into them without focusing Lawler. And now Wanking trying to bring down Pancracy, and he will. He gets the last hit with the tower, and Wanking now back to back and killed. Man, these carries are just too powerful. Double kill for N2K, dominating spree. And I don't think there's much that the Dire can do about this. They're just going to have to let their tier 3 fall, really. Wait for everyone to get back up, Combo Blast them down a little bit, and here's Viper ultied up on the Lawler, which is exactly who they need to be focusing, and dominating spree on the Darkseer as he picks up the kill on Viper, and now maybe 2 more heroes might fall. VLG falls quite quickly, melts like butter in the hands of that Alchemist, who is wielding hot knives. And so, the first racks will go down, the GG is called, but as we all know, those GGs, never too reliable. Probably gonna get canceled. Especially if it's at around 30 minutes. No one likes to give up.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But the thing is, when you're giving up tier 3 towers...
It sucks, yeah.
It sucks a lot, and there's not...
They didn't lose anything else.
No, they didn't. They didn't. And I'm surprised the Radiant actually haven't gone directly for Roche here. If the Dire could get a quick Roche, that would really work in their favor. If they're able to just walk into Roche right now, pick up the Aegis, put it on the Dragon Knight, they might be able to take a very favorable exchange. But the problem is their mid lane is going to be constantly pressured now, so someone's going to have to be there. But a tier 3 and the Rax lost in mid is not the end of the game. Right, mid lane, it tends to be the lane that which you push, so it's not like you got flanked by the 2 barracks on the sides. It's just a mid lane.
The Dire will be going for this Roche, which is what they need. They need, whatever edge they can get. But there is a ward here.
And the damage output is just not enough.
Yeah, they don't have huge damage output. In fact, it's a very low damage output. And here we go. The acid spray out in the pit. Lawler immediately getting hit by a blast, but his damage is huge. The BKB is popped, and now VLG falling just as quickly as the Coddle. Zygenis. Everyone just melting. The heat of this Lawler character is just too high. The heat is too damn high. And so the entire Dire team just immediately killed, and they smoke up, only to be canceled immediately by Nukarn.
Yeah, with the gem on the Bane that neglects it. I mean, that kind of cancels out the 2 Shadow Blades
Rune
on the Dire team as well. So
unstoppable spree by Lawler. Lawler just too powerful here. VLG and Hondo just food for Lawler. 1, 2, 3. One more would have done it. VLG. Oh, Lawler now in a really bad spot. The Dragon Knight has respawned. The stun is out, and lots of gold for the enemy team. But there are tier 4s falling.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lots of gold. Not the deciding factor here. I mean, if we even look at the gold, yeah, we've surpassed the...
Oh, here we go. The Darkseer wall is out, and Winking actually falling very low to N2K. Man moding this guy up the butt. Blinding Light doing what he can. The Keeper supporting his buddy here. The BKB popped by N2K. The right clicks are pretty big here. He did get a crit there, however. Skull Basher up. He's got an Aegis as well, so the stun getting charged. So he will fall, but he's got an Aegis, and here's his team. The cavalry has arrived. The Ice Path is out. Hondo caught in it, as well as the Macro Pyre. And now Dragon Knight still trying to man mode. Catches the Bane. Catches the Shadow Fiend. Still down, actually. And the charge getting stunned up by N2K. I don't know if they can fight without the Shadow Fiend. That early death was kind of crappy. Aegopodium kind of falling low, but the focus shifting over to N2K here, who is just destroying. Double kill for Pankersy, but it's mostly because of N2K just man-moding against everyone. Nukarn running for his life. The stun finds the Timber Saw. Now Nyx Assassin, the only one left. And this looks probably just like another tier. Yep, there's the tier 4. The Creeps handling the business for the Radiant team here, and the Dire not too happy with the state of things. Vendetta up, looking for that Alchemist. This would be a really good pickoff. I think it might even be... Okay, he's too tanky. Run for your life. Run for your life. Too tanky. Oh god, run for your life. Back into the ice wall, and boom, wicked sick. GG. That Alchemist, tanky. Armor skills, really well into the late game. His physical damage resistance, 56%.
Jeez.
And so, like, it's not really surprising why the Vendetta damage did not... It kind of seemed like a mosquito bite to the Alchemist.
Yeah, especially since he ultied almost immediately before it. He did gain all that extra health and regen, so that definitely helped him out as well, but... The fact of the matter is, I think for the Dire, things kind of started out on the wrong note. That rotation out of the Alchemist.
Winking stuns up Pankersy. They haven't given up yet. And here we go. The stun being charged by the Alchemist. There is no stun coming up from the DK. The Skull Basher OP. Holy monster kill for N2K. And N2K just too scary at this point for the Dire team. Zygenis now finds himself enfeebled. Fiend's Grip and melted. Just look at this. Just punch, bitch slap, punch. You dead. Lawler chilling casually in the enemy fountain here. Godlike spree up on N2K. Double kill for Lawler. VLG just scrambling to survive in his own fountain. FU coming out from VLG. Frustrated, understandably so. They are camping the fountain. Well played. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3 killing spree for Lawler. Instant respawn. Almost instant death. what can you do? Shadow Fiend snowballs like that. Alchemist gets some good farm, and the game goes to the Radiant.
Yeah. I think two things really stand out in this game for the Radiant team that I think allowed them to start snowballing out of control. Three things, now that I think about it. The first thing was the Alchemist rotating to that top lane when he knew that he was being contested within the tri-lane. That was a really smart move by him, and it paid off really well. The second thing was the Shadow Fiend rotating into the bottom lane and picking off the two supports on the Dire side when they were low. That was a really good rotation, and it made sure that that tri-lane really got nothing done at the end of the day. And finally, that fight at the tier 2 in top, very early on, where the Dire seemed to single file come into 4 heroes and kind of just get picked off, really, I think, just allowed them to snowball out of control.